I do travel blogging and travel writing as well. And the same thing in that arena, a lot of the bloggers and writers were like, I'm not writing about travel, because they were too worried to offend somebody. But I think a lot of people also thought this would be short-lived, you know, a month or two. Okay, well then I can get back to doing my blogging. And so they have all this material and they're still not posting because now they don't know when to post. Well, all you've done is hurt yourself and other people who want to read and still see travel photos and dream about those destinations. So it goes in other industries. It's the same way. And I think they've made a big mistake. I've continued to write my blog. I've continued to market travel.
I think that's the right thing to do. And I think here's another thing that I would say is that, you know, we often talk about, or there's been a lot of talk about travel shaming, especially in Canada, about people saying, and well, I don't want to talk about me going out because people will shame me. First of all, I think that's disgusting. That's my personal opinion. I think, you know, having traveled, I haven't traveled. I only traveled once during COVID so far, and that was because unfortunately I had to go down to my sister's because her husband passed away, so I wanted to go down and spend a few weeks with him. But you look at the U.S., my God, it's the Wild West down there. Oh my God, in Atlanta, I don't think they have a mask program, right? And I'm talking before all the vaccinations started. But you look at Mexico and you look at many of the resorts that we go in, which are we're not talking a 2-star, you know, we're not talking to hotels that are, you know, for spring breakers. We're talking about the respectable hotels that generally our clientele goes to 4.5, 5 stars. My goodness gracious, you look at Palace Resorts and the amount of energy, and Sandals and the amount of energy they put in. Those places are probably cleaner than any grocery store you can go to here in Canada. I mean, the amount of energy they put into this is over the top. And now even being able to get tested right in destination. I mean, I got tested 2 times in a matter of 14 days, which is more than I ever gotten tested here in Canada. So in my mind, I think traveling is something that's very important for people's mindset. And I think it's something that some people just have to get away. You can't sit in a 4x4 box. We're lucky we live in a house, so we can walk outside. Many people live in a small apartment or in a 2-bedroom apartment that may be literally 800-900 square feet, and you go stir crazy. So I think traveling is a very essential part of it. And I may not agree with the government. I agree with many things they did do. I don't agree with the extent that they've taken some of these things to and the shaming that they've done. That's me, my personal opinion, and people don't have to agree with me. But I think you can travel safely and smartly and win on both sides of it. That's not just to save our industry. That's not at all what I'm talking about, because we'll all be around. I think people need to get away, and I think there's a safe way of doing it.
I agree 100%. And even with the airlines, like what they have done to make air travel safe, I've booked my first flight in April. I'll be flying out to Vancouver mid-April to see what the Clean Care Program Plus is like on Air Canada. So I'm excited to do that. I'm just excited to get back on a plane. But like there's a Harvard study that came out that's saying, you know, it's safer to fly on an airplane than it is to go to the grocery store. And I truly believe that. But there's still, like you said, the travel shaming out there. I can't even post this picture that I left province because somebody's going to get upset at me, and it's just wrong. And even people in the travel industry themselves are shaming people who are traveling, which kind of shocks me. So how, as travel professionals and travelers, do we change that current narrative?
I think, you know, I think partly that it's some of those people who travel shame never travel, because if they have traveled in their life, they would understand how safe travel is and what happens. So I think some of these people are just people who never want to get on a plane, and that's fair. I know people have never been on an airplane that's my age, which blows me away, right? And I was on an airplane literally from when I was 2.5 years old. I was on a plane. And like you said, I used to travel a lot, over 130, 140,000 miles a year. I think this year was 6. You know, it was literally down to Atlanta and back. I think the most important thing is that the travel agents have to inform, do the posting on Facebook, the social media post, talking about the safety of travel and how it is, just like what you said, Charlotte, is that it's safer to be on a plane. And I believe this, having been on a plane numerous times, even on the US planes, they were very, very cautious about it, extremely cautious about it. And I felt very safe on the planes. And I think it's information. But some people will not want to listen to the information. It doesn't matter if we tell them less than 2% of people get affected or have issues on a plane, and more get affected through other means. Some people are just not going to do it. And I think sometimes I am of the mindset of just burying my head, not listening to what other people said, because it's just a bunch of BS. It is BS. And I think that traveling is one of the most important things that we can do for ourselves. And it is the number one thing that people will do no matter what, is get away, because they need that for their mental health.